It was just a normal day of Exeter training at Sandy Park for Dafydd Jenkins when he received the news earlier this month he was to become the youngest Wales captain since 1968. But when Wales head coach Warren Gatland rang the 21-year-old lock to offer him one of the greatest honours a player can be given in rugby, there was just one problem: Jenkins didn't have Gatland's number. Cue confusion. "I was very surprised," said Jenkins, appearing as his country's leader before the media for the first time. "I was in Exeter, at the club, and I had a call from a number I didn't have." Gats obviously said who it was. "I was not too sure it was actually him or one of the boys playing a prank. I spoke to him and I was pretty convinced it was him coming off the call. After I put the phone down, a few of the boys around me were asking me who it was and I was a bit skeptical about it. I was shaking afterwards. When he, Gatland, asked me, I had to say yes. It was a massive opportunity for me and one to make my family proud." After verifying Gatland's number with his raft of Wales teammates at Exeter, Jenkins could relax in the knowledge he was not the victim of what would have been a cruel and elaborate wind-up. It was only then that he could try and take in the magnitude of the challenge he'd just accepted. When the 2024 Six Nations begins next weekend, Wales take on Scotland in their opening game. Jenkins is set to put his name alongside one of the greats in Sir Gareth Edwards. Iconic former scrum half Edwards captained Wales against Scotland in 1968 at the age of 20 in the opening game of that year's Five Nations. The game took place on February 3. More than half a century later, Wales' first game of 2024 is not only also against Scotland, but also on February 3. Wales won the 1968 game 5-0. Jenkins would undoubtedly take a repeat scoreline. "It's a dream come true," he said of his captaincy elevation. "It's probably not sunk in yet. It was definitely a special day for me and my family." Jenkins certainly has Welsh rugby heritage and passion in his blood. His eccentric father Howell, who was nicknamed Crazy Horse, played for Wales A, Swansea and Neath. Jenkins' grandfather played in the same Wales schoolboys team as Edwards. The family's lineage continues. Jenkins is already captain of a young Exeter side, impressing in the Gallagher Premiership and Champions Cup, having first led Rob Baxter's Chiefs at just 19. He has excelled with the armband at club level. Now he has to do it with Wales at senior level. Gatland has lost a host of experienced players and seen Jack Morgan and Dewey Lake, who co-captained his team at the World Cup, suffer injuries. Wales' squad for the 2024 Six Nations has an average age of just 25. "I think a lot of people are underestimating what this team can do," said Jenkins. "A lot of people have written us off already, which is a dangerous thing to do. They have in the past, and as a country we've proven people wrong time and time again. Wales have finished 5th in the last two Six Nations. Gatland and now Jenkins have emphasised their belief they can upset the rest of the tournament's more fancied teams. Scotland at home, in front of a capacity Cardiff crowd, is a winnable opener for Wales even if Gregor Townsend's side should be favourites. There was good news for Wales with assistant coach Neil Jenkins confirming Test centurion and key back George North is set to return to training on Friday after a shoulder injury scare. With the young squad, they wouldn't be there if they weren't talented enough and if Gats didn't think they could do a job, Jenkins said. We're really looking forward to the Six Nations and we're pushing for wins. Hopefully the Welsh public can get behind the performances. Single quote.